Call agent flows from agent topics. Imagine walking up to a retail help desk. Asking, has my order shipped, is a super quick lookup, right? But asking, can I get a refund? Well, that requires the clerk to check return policies, hit the payment gateway, and then email you a receipt. Just like a human agent handles those quick lookups totally differently than a complex multi-step refund, Copilot Studio naturally separates direct data lookups from those heavy multi-step workflows.
Topic 1. The power of agent flows.
Think of a connector tool kind of like a vending machine. You press one button, and boom, it gives you one item, like a quick database lookup for an order status. An agent flow, on the other hand, is way more like an event coordinator. It's handling multiple moving parts, making decisions based on conditions, and coordinating several systems all at once. And listen, this distinction right here, this is a major AB 620 exam focus. You're going to use a connector tool for a single action, but you absolutely must choose an agent flow when your integration demands conditional branching, callable logic, and a highly structured response.
Let's look at a standard Adatum refund scenario to really see this in action. The process isn't just one simple step. First, we have to validate the order. Then, we initiate the refund inside Dynamics 365. Next up, we trigger an email to the customer. And finally, we return a success code right back to the chat. A simple connector just cannot coordinate all of that. But the agent flow, it handles all these steps natively, neatly packaging them into one clean, coordinated operation.
Topic 2. Agent flows versus cloud flows.
You can think of this distinction like a massive corporate office, where one department builds customer-facing chatbots and another completely separate department manages the back-end IT infrastructure. Now pay super close attention here because you want to avoid a really common AB 620 exam trap. Agent flows are designed specifically for use with agents. They live natively inside Copilot Studio, and this is key. They are billed through your Copilot Studio consumption. Cloud flows, though, those are general automation tools. They live over in Power Automate, and they're licensed and managed completely separately. If you create a flow in Power Automate, it stays there, unless you explicitly convert it to an agent flow.
Topic 3. Callable flow exam requirements. To actually bridge the gap between your conversational topic and your back-end automation, an agent flow has to meet some really strict criteria before it can even be selected in the authoring canvas. It's kind of like showing proper credentials at a security checkpoint. For the AB 620 exam, you need to memorize these 5 non-negotiable requirements for a callable flow. First up, it absolutely must have the when an agent calls trigger. Second, it has to end with the respond to the agent action. Third, and pay attention, this is a critical networking rule. The asynchronous response toggle must be explicitly turned off in the settings. This is what ensures the topic actually waits for the flow to finish. Fourth, it needs declared input and output parameters. And fifth, it has to be built as a solution flow. If literally any of these are missing, the flow simply will not appear in your tool picker. No exceptions.
Topic 4. Connecting topics to flows.
Connecting a topic to a flow is basically just like a logistics handoff. Picture a warehouse giving a delivery driver a package with an exact address and then waiting for a delivery receipt. On the authoring canvas, you simply use the Add a Tool node immediately after your logic, say after a condition node that confirms a customer is actually eligible for a refund. You pass the required user data directly to the flow, and then the topic just pauses. It waits right there for a structured result to come back, like a success or failure status. Now, when you're making this handoff, you have to map your inputs and outputs, and there is a vital exam best practice right here for maintaining your schema hygiene. Map only the minimal variables you actually need. Look, if the flow returns 20 different fields, but your chatbot only needs the refund status and the confirmation code, do not capture those other 18 fields. Just don't do it. Keeping the schema minimal makes your entire system so much easier to maintain, and it prevents nasty technical errors like type mismatches down the road. Topic 5. The 100-second minute. Imagine holding your breath while waiting on a phone call. If the system doesn't answer fast enough, the entire connection just drops. We'll burn this number into your memory for the AB 620 exam. 100. An agent flow must complete all its work and hit that respond to the agent action within exactly 100 seconds. The topic pauses and waits at the action node, but if the flow doesn't respond within that 100-second window, the action times out and the conversation completely breaks. For standard things like updating a record or sending an email, 100 seconds is plenty of time. But you absolutely have to plan for the heavy lifting. So, how do we engineer around that 100-second limit from massive tasks? We use the async split pattern.
For super complex scenarios like government document generation or multi-stage HR approval chains, the flow kicks off the heavy background operation, but it immediately returns a quick job tracking ID to the topic. Because the topic gets this ID within the 100-second window, it can just keep chatting with the user without timing out at all. Meanwhile, the actual heavy lifting continues safely in the background, and it can run for up to 30 days. You then just use a totally separate polling topic to check on the final outcome later.
Agent flows give you this massive capability of multi-step automation when a single action just won't do. But sometimes in the real world, the exact data you need is already perfectly exposed by a REST API, and that means you don't need the overhead of an agent flow or even a connector tool at all. So if agent flows handle these complex multi-step workflows, what happens when you just need direct data from that REST API? Well, understanding how to bypass flows entirely for direct API calls using an HTTP request node is the logical next step in your exam preparation journey, and it really asks us to think deeply about true architectural efficiency.